Could have gone either way.
As well as Switzerland as well. We were in there, we just ran away in the second half a little bit.
There you just had the Japanese men's team by our pitch side microphone. They're here to support their women's side who take on Singapore. A huge game for two sides whose only loss in the women's pool so far have come against Australia. They occupy first and second place in this Women's Open. And this game is all about avoiding England, who are likely to finish in second place in the other pool. So the loser in this game, the one who finishes third, is going to have to take on the hosts England.
Good job, Sam.
And it's Japan's men's side who are also looking like they're going to be taking on England's men's side as well. So there you go. South Africa have just kicked over our pitch side microphone there, and they're just yelling into it. They're working hard to fix it. I think that's going to be all right. I wish more people got involved, to be honest, Nick, with our pitch side equipment.
Oh, you got me worried now. I was down there the other day. I'm thinking, what the hell did you record?
Well, if anything comes up on the live stream that we shouldn't hear, it does go off straight away. They're working hard in the van to our right-hand side, keeping us live and ready here at the Touch Rugby World Cup. And this is a huge game between the two outside Australia best sides in the Women's Open Pool A. Japan will have the tap-off, playing in the red and black from left to right. Singapore playing in the white and red strip in the other way. Carried on for now, though, by Tadake. And Tadake has it back for Japan. What a start this could be. Ball back on the inside. Denied by Singapore. What a flying start this is for Japan. Opening set, and they've got 3 strikes at the line. Lifted off the deck. There's a nice step as well. Kuriishi trying to create. Singapore have turned them away. Make a great defensive set by Singapore. And here away they come down the right-hand side. So as they transition it, we're talking a lot about Luxembourg's journey in this World Cup, and also something you mentioned just before we went live, the difference between World Cups in 2011, the Euros recently, and this competition.
Well, just certainly, we played in the Euros 2023, and the level now is higher than last year. I mean, it's really impressive. You come and play against sides you don't normally play against, and very, very good. Yeah, so I've been really impressed.
And these are two sides not involved in the Euros. Japan involved in the Trans-Tasman Series, which took place usually between Australia and New Zealand. They got an invite, and it's really raised the level of Japan. And that's the point, Nick. Getting involved in competitions like this just raises the level, regardless of how it goes.
Oh, that's exactly, and that's why we come. I mean, how really Touch got going in Luxembourg is we came to the 2011 championships. We were invited, and it was crazy, really crazy.
And here comes Singapore then, their first real attack of the game. Jasriel Tan at the half, lifted into the path of Matheson, who's over in the corner. Well, I think the touch might have come in there to deny Singapore. So Japan will transition. Well, Nick, already we've seen 2 defences on top form.
No, it's great, and the athleticism of these ladies is superb, it really is.
Here come Japan, heading to the box on the near side. The coaching staff in full voice, getting on their instructions. Here's Irayago.
Yeah.
Oh, lifted into the path of Ageno, but put down.
Oh, it's a great role model. Say in Luxembourg, we've got more young girls, so 7 to 16, playing touch than boys. And for them to see this is great role modelling, really fantastic for women's sport.
The Women's Open has been a really high standard, as have the women involved in the Mixed Open as well. The spirit of touch, really, those 2 formats, especially the Mixed Open, it's something you rarely get to the top level of sport.
Oh no, it's fantastic. In fact, that's one of our goals, is actually to be the most played mixed sport in Luxembourg, and we're not far off it. I mean, it's a tiny country, and it's such a great it's a great sport for men, women, young and old to play together. So
that's exactly the appeal of touch rugby. It's for everyone. And Singapore through Claudia Sung down the right-hand side. They head to the box and they slowly make the changes. Charlotte Dybel waits there in the middle, but instead it's carried on for now by Kong. Chin.
They've been good and patient, aren't they?
Very patient at the moment, but Chin might turn on the afterburners. Instead, it's a penalty. And they're right to be patient, Nick. They've won 6 touches at the 7. Chin, great pickup. Here come Singapore again. I think the touch was made there. So they're sent back. Singapore denied, still level after 3.5 minutes here. They take it to the right-hand side this time instead. Whip the other way. They've dragged the defenders in, but once again, Tessie Chin is caught. Great defence on show from both sides. That's been the defining feature of this huge game. And Japan have denied Singapore from 2 sets to 6. That is impressive.
Looks like it's going to be a very tight game, I have to say.
As you'd expect, between the two front runners in this women's Pool A, Australia and New Zealand on the other side of the draw. As New Zealand and England, sorry, on the other side of the draw. Australia have topped this group. They've already defeated both these sides comfortably as well. But for now, though, it's Japan looking to create. What a ball! There's the final pass. Race to the corner. Huge touch comes in.
Good defending.
Jasriel Tan forces the turnover as well. Osaka Nakayama thought she was away for Japan.
You know, you were asking earlier how important these tournaments are to a small nation like us. Extremely important. To have the chance to play against these, to watch and play with the more experienced players and bigger nations, it's just unbelievable. It ups our level significantly. And we wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for the 2011 World Cup, where we were completely naive, didn't know what we were doing.
World Cup back in Edinburgh.
But we've got 2 players who are playing here who were played in that World Cup.
Well, they're still putting on the boots in the Touch Rugby World Cup a whole 13 years later.
Therein lies the great challenge for us, is we've got maybe 60, 70 adult registered players.
And yet still competing at the World Cup, still giving nations like Sweden and Canada a really good game.
Yeah, so...
Oh, what a pass that is over the top.
Played.
Finally, the deadlock is broken. Japan go over. Yurina Tagasugi touches down.
Nice getting out to the wing. And that's our dilemma. We know that it's going to be hard. For the first time, the last 2 years, we've had a coach, and that has made a huge difference. Nick Matango has come along and really upped our understanding of what it is to participate in elite sport. It's fantastic for us.
And Japan have got a large support team out here as well. Their women's open side take an early lead. I think that's a feature of the larger nations, is they bring such a massive group of support staff with them as well as a large playing squads.
Oh, well, that's what makes it really special. I mean, it's the opening ceremony, that was fantastic.
Yago, good ball. Japan could open up here. Important touch made on Tadaki. Yeah, that opening ceremony as well, that was huge as well, Nick.
Oh no, it's fantastic. It's an incredible atmosphere, and you really get a feel for how international the sport is. Everyone from all parts of the world coming together to play sport, and it's men, women, all playing together. And it's fantastic. It's a unique environment, really unique atmosphere.
It certainly is a unique World Cup as well, the largest that the Touch Rugby World Cup has ever been, and that is a huge turnover as well. If Japan get it back, well, they're pushed back instead 10 yards. I think it's going to be 6 for Singapore at the 10. They trail by just the 1 try in this crucial game. It's often the case, Nick, across sport, when the biggest teams play off, they're often cagey affairs like this.
That's right, yeah. Well, that's a good thing about being a small nation. You don't have to get too cagey about things.
Just play some jouet.
Yeah.
What characterises Japan game is their pace and their speed in transition, and it's on show here. Good running down the right from Sienna Ageno, denied at the line once by Singapore already, the Japanese winger. But this time they cough up possession early. Watanabe running onto it. But Singapore have it back.
They're beautifully balanced runners, aren't they? They're really good athletes.
Well, turnover again for Singapore, though. Neither side really able to use up the 6. And I'm sure at every level of touch, Nick, that is the key thing, to use all 6 touches, regardless of what you do with them.
That's right, that's what it's all about. But it's easier said than done when you're under a lot of intense pressure, hot day. That's when you start to make mistakes. And I think that's what big difference between the stronger teams and the weaker teams, is that level of fitness. They just don't make errors.
And it's the difference between Japan and Singapore at the moment. Second try of the game, this time by Kana Kuriashi. Well, gets it on the return, great running and just a lovely little show and go as well. Singapore a bit flat-footed, Charlotte Dybel caught out. Well, Singapore, though, quick on the transition and carrying well. Here's Jezreel Tan, a key player for them. Oh, winding through is Tessie Chin. And they do touch down in the corner eventually. And Singapore strike back. What a lovely finish this is.
That was good. That was through the hands. That's all they needed to do. Nothing flash.
Great delay on the pass from Chin as well to find the winger. And that's what you love to see as well, the celebration.
Running the holes. Good running of the holes there. What it's all about.
I think it's Kong, the try scorer, who went over on that wing. As you see, the sideline's pretty packed for this game. Highfield 2, a big attraction. Japan, though, looking to strike back again in quick succession. Lovely footwork. Over they go. Kiera Tadaki. Another try and a lovely celebration between Tadaki and Kamoshida. Well, I think the offside call came in, so Tadaki just kept on rolling. What a game. It's just suddenly turned on the style here, both sides. It's come to life, Nick.
It has, really has. Some nice stuff, really nice stuff. Okay.
Well, they're up to the 10 as well. Singapore looking to go tit for tat. Here's Dybel. Oh, on the wraparound, looking to create. Forced back onto the inside by Japan. Great pickup. Looking for an option on the inside. Caught by Japan. Forced back. Here's Kanbabi with Dybel. Dybel again at the half. Changes direction. Dybel scooping in herself. Lovely ball over the top. But they're caught just short. Tessie Chin denied. And Japan have it back.
I think it's good defence from Japan there. They're really taking the right space. It's good. Well done.
Well, here we go then. Japan up to halfway. Touch made there by Kanbabi. But Japan rolling on. They make it to the box, but they're deep in Singapore country. Let's see if they can create from close range. Yago is caught into the hands of Kasai. Kasai, Yago at the half. Stepping off the right. Oh, back into Kasai. Goes over. Good ball from Ayagi. And Japan have 4, and they're starting to run away with things here, Nick.
No, they are. They're playing really, really well. It's excellent stuff.
Well, in this position where it was even for the first 10 minutes, and suddenly you go a few tries behind, how do you keep the faith when it doesn't seem to be going your way, Nick?
Well, I can tell we've had a lot of that. Well, yeah, I think you have to just have faith in your process and just try to stick to your process, concentrate on what you're trying to do as a player, as a team, and have faith that you're doing the right things and just keep calm and keep playing.
Japan, though, confounding the errors. That's a hard touch, and it will be a penalty. It was spilt needlessly on the halfway by Singapore, and that's got Japan on the front foot. Good lift that time from Kamoshida. And then she found the pass, and Geno looking to run in, but Ageno is caught. Ageno lifted to Kamoshida. Kamoshida evades the touch, diving in from range. Maya Matheson, what a touch it is as well. Well, I thought for all the world that Japan were in for another, but denied by Matheson. And now here they come again, out wide they go. Naki. And you were just touching on the referees, that there's been so many of them involved as well. They've got so many games under their belts, but they have been fantastic throughout the tournament.
Oh, they are. And as a player, you really appreciate that. They talk to you all the time. It's fantastic communication, it really is. And they're such an important part of the game. That,
we had them mic'd up for a few games here on pitch 2 yesterday before we realised that there's so much conversation going on that we can hardly pick anything out. So we're back to reading the hand signals as everyone else is. Lovely ball over the top from Kuriishi. And they touch down in the corner. Try for Sachiko Kanabe.
That was a lovely pass, wasn't it? Lovely vision. Saw the winger out there free.
had a couple of wind-ups before Kana Kuriaishi let it go. But Japan strike back. And they compound Singapore's mistakes, unable to convert, and then driven up the other end. That's a dominant performance. Although these are the two best sides in this pool, you wouldn't think it at the moment. Japan have got a real grip on the game.
Yeah, but you know, Singapore are showing, well, they have been showing some signs of coming back with some good energy, but it's not easy for them.
Well, Phoebe Aruche making a couple of big touches on the wing there. Japan up to halfway. They've got soft hands in the midfield, and that's what's got them rolling. Yamagata with a good carry. Here's Ageno again. Yamagata lifts it into the path of Kamoshida, and now it might open up. Little show and go. Arisa Yamagata freshly onto the field and amongst the scorers. And we are loving the Japanese celebrations as well.
Like I say, it's good that it's been live streamed. We can show it to our girls, show them what they can do. That's what we're really hoping. We've focused actually a lot on the juniors. For a small nation like us, we need the juniors to develop, and now they're starting to come through into our club side.
Well, the future is bright. The English Touch Association Juniors Championships will be live streamed by Next Gen, of course, in a couple of weeks' time. That's the next action we have for you. But in the meantime, we've got an awful lot of touch to be played here at the World Cup in 2024 in Nottingham. This unbelievable event. It's the largest touch event there's ever been. And this teasing footwork from Kuriishi is driving on Japan. What a run that is. Kana Kuriishi looking so bright in the middle for Japan. Kuriishi. Here's Kishi again. Shoko Kishi finds the pass.
Beautiful.
Japan are down to the left-hand side. Kaidi Teraki with another score.
But you know, the other big thing is that it's 3,500 players, 500 people helping. It's a massive event, and I can tell you, it makes a huge difference in selling touch. When we talk, say for example, the Luxembourg government, we say we're participating in an event this large, they go, what? What? So it's bigger in terms of players than the Rugby World Cup, the Rugby League World Cup in terms of players. Like, what? And yeah, it really helps. It really helps sell the sport.
And in this, the absolute upper echelon of it, the Women's Open, tied with the Men's Open as the two biggest competitions here today. We've got an absolute cracker where Japan, as we approach half-time, have really upset the odds here, because these two sides coming into the fixture were billed very much on a level footing. But what a performance by Japan. Singapore looking to strike back before the break. They trail by 7-1. Unexpected, but Nina Donaldson looking to get them going. Tan into Kong. Tan with a good pickup. Little great bit of footwork from Donaldson, but Japan make the touch. Yamagata.
Japanese defence has been very good.
Oh, and they've shut out Singapore again. Well, I can tell you all about the Japanese defence and how they've done in this competition so far. I mean, it's pretty nice reading. They beat France by 10-2, walkover against Papua New Guinea, only conceded 2 against Wales, only conceded 2 against Belgium today in an 18-2 victory, only conceded 4 against Canada. They even beat the Cook Islands in a wonderful game by 7-6. And against Australia, again, only a 7-2 defeat. So they've been in every game they've played, and their defence has been excellent.
That's really impressive. Because we play against Belgium ladies, or with them in the league there, and they've got some very good players indeed.
A big victory that for Japan. Singapore have had some huge results themselves. They've had a 13-0 they've had an 11-0 and a 10-0 victory against Canada and Lebanon respectively. They put 12 past Belgium themselves, but the difference maybe is Japan-Australia was 7-2. Japan-Singapore was 20-1 in Australia's favour. So despite the similar records, maybe that just tells the difference between the two sides, Nick.
It does, yeah. It also says it's interesting, you know, the results. If you're just, stuck in playing in Europe, you just get used to the European teams, and that's why this really opens up your eyes to the quality of touch outside Europe. you can see how well Japan are doing, vis-a-vis some of the European teams. So
and it's not just in Southeast Asia and Oceania as well, of course. The likes of South Africa have come across, a big rugby nation, the States and Canada as well. So there's touch everywhere, even on the the Middle Eastern Peninsula, with the likes of Oman and the Middle East touch team as well.
And that's what makes it a very special event, really special event. But I have to say, I'm very impressed with the level of, the level is very, very high. And the fitness and the speed has been consistently high through all the teams.
Despite the weather, Dybul shifting through, Singapore go down. Will that be given as a try? Oh, no touch. Such a shame, because Charlotte Dybul did so well there. Well, she scoops through. She's directing traffic in there as well. Young Charlotte Dybul, what a carry. Just put down on the brink of half-time. Japan will wear the last touch. Arisa Yamagata happy to go in at the break with this 7-1 lead for her Japanese Women Open side. And the top two sides in this pool, well, Japan clearly the second best in this pool, just behind Australia. At the moment, Singapore look a distant third.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Their defending has been absolutely superb from Japan. Singapore haven't got a look in, and they're coming forward. They've been getting the ball wide, haven't they? Been looking good.
Half-time then, with 20 minutes still to play. Does Singapore have enough in the locker to get back into the fixture? They trail by 7-1 to Japan at half-time in this Women's Opens game that will all but secure Japan's place in the top two, where they'll face the likes of South Africa, the United States or Hong Kong, China in the knockouts with a couple more games to play. Japan leads Singapore by 7-1.
It's our turn now. It's our turn now. Yeah.
Ladies and officials, you are cleared to set the rolling. Please take your field ready to fire. Ladies and officials, stand by.
"20 minutes left then in this crucial Women's Opens encounter between Japan and Singapore. Singapore sitting third in the pool, Japan in second. This will all but secure their place, tucked just behind Australia in that favourable draw as we look ahead to the quarter-finals. Nick Franks, the chairman of Luxembourg Touch, alongside me, and well, that's a really
Great
popular score, isn't it, from the touchline?
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, she did really well to get that down. Great dive.
Well, the first set of 6 results in the first score. It's a great ball over the top from Kambabi.
Could be the start of a recovery.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, first try for Maya Pearce, freshly on the field, and Singapore get one back. I don't know if you can see on that far side, there's a stand full of Singapore supporters with the flag there waving in the right-hand side of your screen. And that's got the Singapore touch side in the right mood to convert here, but Japan ghosting into the end zone. They are caught.
Good defence. Good mirrors defence.
Nanase Aoyagi almost away. So here come Singapore again, looking to turn this game around. They trail by 7-2, but they've got plenty of time, Nick, to turn it back around.
Oh, they have, yeah. And they got off to a good start, didn't they? Got to make the most of this 6.
Touch made just inside the half. A winding run from Jazreel Tan. The Tans are players to watch in this side. There's 3 of them. Alicia, Nami and Jazreel. But it's a turnover for Japan, and I think they'll get into striking distance here.
Yeah, I think. Didn't really get the ball up there.
Good carry by Nakayama. Here come the Japanese substitutes. Shoko Kishi amongst them, as is Ageno on the carry. And on the wraparound here comes Kishi again. Lovely weighted pass into the path of Yago, but good defence, Nick.
Yeah, she couldn't quite keep hold of it. Hard ball. Singapore really got to get down the pitch here.
They're up against it. They conceded 7 in that first half, and they can't be coughing up possession like that. Well, that's tough. Japan just suddenly it opens up on the transition. Singapore not alive to it. Sienna Ageno scores in the corner.
I think that highlights the difference between some of the teams and the really top teams is making errors under pressure. The top players, they make very few errors, and they seem to be able to always get clean dumps, clean passes.
I think it's practice makes perfect, I think, for some of these larger nations.
Well, they're also a different league. Let's be honest, we played Australia, and it was such an education. A pleasure to play, but we're not in the same league in terms of players. It's just a different ball game.
Well, unfortunately there, Maya Matheson has coughed it up for Japan as well, and they're back to halfway.
They're going to be straight under pressure again in a moment.
Arisa Yamagata carries it in. Here's Kuriashi, Yamagata. Kuriishi again, linking up really well together there. Lovely footwork, just down on her knees, kind of Kuriishi. Kuriishi forced to retreat back to the 7, taking her time. She's got Marina Watanabe there, who hands it back to her. Watanabe takes the touch, wants it on the return. Little dummy opens up the space, beautiful work. Arisa Yamagata goes over again for Japan. Hat-trick for her in this game. And they've stretched out in front 9-2 now And the Singapore fight back, well, it's been quelled in its early stages, Nick.
It has indeed, yeah. That was a really beautiful piece of work by the mid there. Really, really nice work with the hands.
Just a great dummy as well. It looked for all the world like Japan were taking it down the left-hand side. It sold Singapore down the river, and they are struggling now. This game may quickly get beyond them if they can't score here. Great ball on the inside. Nina Donaldson made a great run, but as you said, Nick, I think she's put it down.
I think she has. And you know, it is hot, I know from earlier on, and when the going gets tough, it's hard to keep it going. But that's what Singapore have to do now. They have to really dig deep.
Even the nations with, let's not pretend they don't have significantly superior climates like Singapore, will be struggling as the heat continues across the day here, and great pace added on by Ageno. Lovely wraparound. Tadaki again was involved, but just spilt this time. Changes made for Japan as Singapore themselves look to transition. Miscommunication. Nina Donaldson was leaving the field. She didn't want the ball then.
Really got to try to cut these errors out if they're going to come back into this game.
Japan in the meantime looking for double figures. Looking left and right, Sienna Ageno. Ageno at the half. Kamashida now picks it up and feeds it into the path of Yago. Sliding in for another. She doesn't look too comfortable out there, Yago, but she's back to her feet.
Touch.
I think she's all right. She'll lay it back and continue. Sienna Ageno. It's Kamashida, and then opening up the pitch again, Yago. Second time of asking, she's denied again. Yago leaves it for Kamashida, who finds the pass. And that time, third time, Japan still denied. Great defense from Singapore.
If they can really get a good drive here, get down the pitch.
And it is a good drive. But, oh, just another unforced error. Nick, they won't survive against a team like Japan coughing the ball up this often.
No. From personal experience, that is not good news. You do all the hard work and then give it away, and it makes it tougher, much tougher.
Haide Tadaki. Oh, it's left this time for Kuriishi. Kuriishi finds a pass. She'll be there at half, and there's Tadaki on the wrap, going in alone. Penalty Japan, 6 at the line.
Well, they're really keeping at it, those the Singapore girls, you know. There's a lot of defending here, but they're hard.
Kana Kuriashi looking for Japan's 10th. And as we approach the midway point of the second half, that might seal it. Bit of a mounted decline for Singapore, unless they can win it back quickly and convert, but it might be Japan going again. Oh, what a ball inside. It was just behind Kaida Tadaki, and she put it down, but once again, great play from Kana Kuraishi. Good pressure as well from Phoebe Aruche of Singapore.
Now they managed to get down there yet.
Well, for the first time in what feels like a while, I was about to say they've transitioned well, but they've coughed it up again, and that is just so difficult to do. Japan surely will not rue any more of these chances.
Up your energy.
Oh, they go back down the short side. Clever liner running this time from Nakayama. Kuraishi running the show again. And then great lift on the return, round the corner. Shoko Kishi denied. Important touch from Tessie Chin. But they're under so much pressure here, Singapore. For how much longer can they withstand it? Kuraishi. Back inside to Kishi. Kuraishi, wide pass. It's just beyond the clutches of Takasugi. And Yurina Takasugi can't get a hold of it.
I really feel that Japan are well in control of this game now.
They're just enjoying all the field possession, which is such an underutilized but important aspect of touch. You can't score from the bottom corner of the pitch, so far from your box, so far from the Japanese line. It's a better transition and a lovely pass to open up the Japanese defence and finally get them backpedaling in this second half. Singapore started the brightest with an early try. They were quickly dismantled by Japan, but they've slid through here, and this might be a score. Finally, for Singapore, 9 minutes since their last, right at the start of the second half. I think it's Phoebe Aruche who might have gone down over to score.
Much better energy from them. You could really feel the pickup, couldn't you, as she went through, the whole team moving to support.
Well, let's have another look at it here. It's a really great scoop, actually, by Dybel, who's been imported for Singapore throughout this tournament. And it's a good finish under a bit of pressure. Japan, though, looking to quell any sense of a Singapore comeback, just as they did the last time they scored. We'll have a few stabs at the line. 10 minutes to go here. Good lift. Japan are from close range. Denied.
Oh, fan pressure, isn't it? Oh, going one way.
Even after the breakaway, they do look more threatening. Aoyagi hit the line, ball back on the inside. Try scored by Japan. They do crack that double figure. They're up to 10 tries. Now the referee's just gesticulating to one another, but I think the try is given. It's Eru Yago who benefits from that ball inside from Nanase Aoyagi. And Singapore hit the box and look to make some changes. Well, I think their Singapore try was actually scored by Shipei Tay, the most recent score, to make it 10-3. They're looking for one to make it 10-4 and maybe spark the game into life, because at the moment it's all Japan. Lovely little turn to open up the pitch from Kong, looking to hunt for the corner. Sarah Tan caught. Well, here's Tan gliding through, but touch made. And the game is just getting away from Singapore. And they'll transition towards the box, Japan, and look to make some changes.
They played that really well, didn't it? Apart from this now.
Well, that's the classic commentator's curse, Nick. I'm so glad you've experienced it, because it's inflicting us all day here.
But they did move it across the pitch very smoothly, effortlessly, I'd say.
Well, while we've got you as well, we'll touch on the men's 30s, because those finals, of course, will be live later as the pools are all decided. Who do you think are the front runners? Australia, England, the United States have all qualified, as have the likes of New Zealand, France, Japan, South Africa, and the Cook Islands are in there too. What are your thoughts, Nick?
Well, I mean, we played in our pool, Australia just miles ahead of everyone. Really, really, they were absolutely superb. US, strong team, good athletes. Cook Islands, I think getting better. The guys were saying that they haven't played together much, and they've got some fantastically skillful, quick players. So maybe as they get things together, they could be a dark horse. Yeah, so I think it's going to be, obviously we've got England, good side, New Zealand. So it's going to be, I imagine, yeah, it's going to be between Australia, England, New Zealand, and Cook Islands might creep up there. Yeah.
Not including their final game against Canada. Australia have a 127 try difference in the men's 30 pool, which is a bit silly, and also 3 times as much almost as the second place in England. They're closed only by New Zealand, who have a bang-on 100 try difference in the men's 30 pool on the other side.
Well, you know, they are, I mean, let's face facts, they're just way ahead, say, of us. But you know what? For the sport, it's fantastic. that they play against us.
They still conceded to Luxembourg,
They did.
by the way.
We did score.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah. And I can tell you, we did a lot better against them than we did in the 2011 World Cup.
Great improvement.
Yeah.
And Japan have another, and I think that is going to seal it. There's no way back for Singapore now. The gap is just too large. It's a score for Yurina Takasugi, who came close moments ago, but this time undisputedly touches down.
But for me, that's actually even though there are some mismatches, it's so important to have the big nations playing against the small nations.
Oh no, I've taken a try off of Osaka Nakayama. It was her score right on the left-hand wing. It's only just now that Takasugi has entered the field and taken the position on the wing. It's these red jerseys, you see. They're just keeping us on our toes in the commentary box.
I'm amazed that you even got the names, I tell you. I'm very impressed.
Oh, it's all part of the job here. It's important these players are recognised for their skill. One of them, as such, on the ball for Singapore, Charlotte Dybel. Really impressive player for them. She'll be an important part of their foray into the quarterfinals, which, despite this defeat, they are likely still to be involved in. Japan, though, on the transition up over halfway with just over 4 minutes to go. Looking to add another score and put a real shine on what has been a pleasing performance for them. Lovely scoop on the inside, beautiful hands. What a try that would have been if they could have kept it together. As it is, they'll have to settle for the penalty. And that final ball is just, well, it's a really difficult take. Would have been something special. Well, it's a penalty on the line for Japan. I think they've burnt the first touch there, but they'll have another swing at it here. Kasai opening up the pitch, gliding in behind, needs support. Important touch made there by Charlotte Dybel. More good defending from her. Takahashi lays it back once again for Kasai. Ayagi, Kasai. Here's Yamagata, who's on a hat-trick as well. Yamagata, here she goes. Will she get it? Dybel gets the hand up again, but she's called offside this time. Hat-trick for Arisa Yamagata. Well, Japan, with their 12th score, have been far and away the better team here, Nick.
They have. They've shown a lot of control, some really nice stuff going forward, a lot of different plays, a lot of agility, some really nice long balls to wingers, so yeah, very impressive. I think their defence has been quite good. They've really stopped the Singaporeans from really getting in the transition phase, really getting down the pitch, and they've been very effective in that.
How many more opportunities will Singapore have at the line? Oh, down goes, I think it's Claudia Sung. Doesn't look too comfortable there. So we'll have a short break in play. Sung back to her feet, thankfully. Just the heat and the exposure to such high intensity running, perhaps. Nice little show and go from Tessie Chin.
Underestimate how the heat really takes it out of the athletes today, and you just got to keep going at this stage.
Tan, lifted by Kanbabi. Tan gives the ball to Chin. Tan gets it back on the inside. Lovely weaving run, great ball through the defence, and then the final pass from Claudia Singh clatters off a Japanese hand.
A good shot there from the winger.
Just teasing with the defence now, Chin. Substitution made in the middle, but here's Tamani Kanbabi. Kanbabi gets it back, opening up the legs, drifting in, diving touch from Japan. Kanbabi again, flying out of the line to make the touch, even at this late stage, and they force the turnover. Great defending from the Japanese women's open side. And with a minute to go, they'll just eat up these touches and settle for their impressive victory against their closest rivals in the pool. Here comes the transition. And what do you make of this performance overall from Japan? I mean, It's been really impressive.
I think they've been, in all aspects of their game, they've been really, really solid. I think in defence they've been excellent. Forced Singapore to make errors, put them under a lot of pressure, and coming forward, full of ideas. Yeah, some great athletic tries. I've been very, very impressed. It's a really good advert for women's sport.
They won't crash over the line on this occasion, but they will have the victory with 30 seconds to go. Singapore knocks it on. Japan looking to add another, looking to transition. There's the one pass to do it. Singapore just didn't react quick enough for Kaeda Tadaki, who goes over. Good ball from Kuriishi, who was alive to the danger that she could pose. And that's another try to top off this excellent performance.
That's a good example there of putting the other team under defence under pressure. Mistake made. Good reaction from Japan, taking advantage, scoring.
There goes the hooter. That'll bring us to an end of the contest, and it was over perhaps at half-time when Japan took a 7-1 lead into the break. Singapore did fight back in that second half, but it was all Japan in the end. They were the more dominant side, and they're good value for their place. Second in the pool, just behind Australia. And they're through to the next round with one more game to play in the Women's Open. A great performance by them, and a great advert for the game of touch, Nick, as you've said throughout.
Yeah, no, really, really enjoyable. And, I know, say, in Luxembourg, what we're trying to do is get more women to play the sport, and you see these girls here, they're superb, absolutely superb, so it's great to watch. It's a great advert for the game. And to be honest, we can use things like this, these live streams, showing women in our country what the sport's all about is really important to us. So it's really great that you're doing this live streaming.
Thanks very much, and thanks for joining us as well for the game, Nick. Great to have you there, Nick Franks.